All right, good evening, everybody. I'm going to call to order the August 20th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting. It is 7:34 p.m. Good evening. We're going to start with item number one, which is the Pledge of Allegiance, which is going to be led by Commissioner Lewis. That's right. Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. Item number two, Manager Elliott, will you please call the roll?
Yes, good evening. Commissioner Arman,
Here.
Commissioner Brockington,
Here.
Commissioner Cherico,
Here.
Commissioner Lewis,
Here.
Commissioner Norris,
Here.
Commissioner Rappaport, here, and Commissioner Zieggenfeld.
Here.
All right, everyone's here.
Thank you, all present. Good to see everybody. Item number three, the Sunshine Act announcement. Mr. Diazio would do the honors.
Thank you, Commissioner Arman. The board has had one executive session since the last public meeting. We met this evening prior to tonight's legislative board meeting. Items on the agenda included tax assessment appeal litigation, several matters of potential acquisition of real estate, and we also had a discussion about a number of personnel items, potential and current employee grievances, and also the status of the hiring for the assistant township manager position. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diazio. Moving on to item number four. This is the time when members of the public may engage in public comment on agenda items. So if it's an item that's on the agenda, please, if you're on Zoom, please raise your hand. If you're here in the hall, you're welcome to come up. There, just for everybody's reference, there will be time at the end of the meeting for citizens forum, which is the time when you can speak on any item, whether it's on the agenda or not. This is the time to come up and speak on any agenda item. So I will open it up here in the hall. Do we have any takers for public comment on agenda items? Okay, I see none. If anyone changes their mind, you'll have another half a second. Anyone on Zoom who is interested in making public comment on an agenda item? Okay, I don't see anybody. Going once, twice. All right, we're going to close public comment on agenda items and move on to item number five, approval of the Board of Commissioners regular meeting minutes dated July 16th, 2025. Are there any comments or questions from the board? All right, seeing none, all those I'll move for acceptance. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Item number six, acceptance of the executive summary financial report for the month of June 2025. I will so move. Are there any comments or questions? Commissioner Rappaport, please.
Basically, just a question, please, and I didn't have a chance to ask it earlier. I was surprised that in the capital fund report, how much of our budget we hadn't used. Now, I realized this was for June, so that's only halfway through the year, and maybe we just are waiting to do some of those projects, but it was significant. So maybe somebody wants to comment. Thank you.
Yeah, fair question. Manager Elliott or Ms. Salerno, do you have any comment on Commissioner Rappaport's inquiry?
Sure, I can jump in. A lot of capital budget is based on timing. So these projects take longer, sometimes longer than a year. And when we budget for them, sometimes we'll put the entire budget in that year's budget and carry it forward. We may not expend the full capital budget each year.
Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. Any other questions on the executive summary financial report for June 2025? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of acceptance say aye. Aye. All right. Number seven, acceptance of the accounts paid report for the month of June 2025. Comments or questions? All right, seeing none, I will so move. All those in favor of acceptance say aye. Aye. Thank you. Misnumbered item number 9. Commissioner Zieggenfeld must have been in charge of the numbering. Commissioner Ziegmanfeld, the Public Works Committee met on August 6th. You are the chair. Would you mind running through the agenda items?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm so excited to see how many people are here for the Public Works review session. We met on August 6th, and we had a number of items that we reviewed and that are up for legislative approval. 9A or 8A, adoption of a resolution granting conditional approval and associated waivers for a final land development application, CTDA number 25-07, Kerlin Farms, 1050 Ashbourne Road, for the proposed construction of 79 age-restricted dwelling units in 3 four-story buildings with 153 parking spaces and associated site improvements. There was an attachment, and just briefly to the folks that are here and the folks that are listening. This is a project that goes back to original proposal 2012. It went through litigation, and there were significant concessions and changes to bring us to this point. All of our internal and external consultants have recommended that we move forward with this adoption, the adoption of this resolution. So I'll ask if there are any additional questions or concerns from members of the board based on that amount of feedback. And Commissioner Norris, those 2 fingers are recognized.
Thank you, Commissioner. Real briefly, because I don't want to belabor tonight's meeting. I spoke more at length at the Public Works meeting on August 6th, but I will be voting against this resolution, even though the courts have approved it. I don't think it's appropriate for the neighborhood. So I will be voting against it.
Thank you, Commissioner Norris. And just as a point of information, subsequent to the August 6th meeting, there have been additional reviews and activities by both our traffic engineer and by the Cheltenham Township Police Department to accommodate some of the concerns that were expressed by a number of local residents, neighbors, and folks who have their children attending Cheltenham Elementary School. So to some degree, there's still some issues that have been addressed and are, in fact, the oversight is continuing on this proposed development. I'll ask if there are any additional questions or comments. I see none. So, oh, sorry, Commissioner, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
No, I just wanted to go on the record that I know when we had the meeting in reference to this property, I wanted to remind the developer that I need to set up a town hall meeting with him, with the residents, that the property is going to abate but a lot of these homes. So I just wanted to make sure we go on the record to let the developer know that I need to set up a town hall meeting with him.
Thank you for that addition, Commissioner Brockington. Again, I'll ask if there's any further comment. I see none. So, Mr. President, I'll move for the adoption of the resolution granting conditional approval for the Kerlin Farm development as proposed with the attachments and associated understandings.
Thank you, Commissioner Ziegmanfeld. We have a motion on the floor. Are there any comments or questions on the approval motion beyond what was already commented? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Nays say
Nay.
okay. That's 6-1.
Thank you, Mr. President. Item 8 or 9B, whichever. Concurrence of the 2025 Montgomery County Consortium vehicle fuel contract awarded by the Upper Merion Township Board of Supervisors on June 12th, 2025 to SJ Fuel South Company, Inc., of Barrington, New Jersey, for the period September 1, 2025 to August 31, 2026. And again, a measure like this is meant to capitalize on group purchasing versus an individual municipality trying to maximize the fuel contract. So are there any questions or comments from members of the board on this matter? I see none. So, Mr. President, I'll move for the approval of the Montgomery County Consortium vehicle fuel contract to SJ Fuel Company as per our understanding.
Any comments or questions on the motion from the board? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the motion of for concurrence, say aye.
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 Thank you again, Mr. President. Item C, authorized advertisement of an ordinance amending the Code of Cheltenham Township, Part 2, General Legislation to expand Chapter 162, single-use plastic bags to include regulations on the distribution of single-use plastic utensils, single-use plastic straws, and expanded polystyrene products. We've had our single-use plastic bag ordinance in place, and it's working effectively. And this is just a continuation with the help from the Environmental Advisory Commission to continue to guide us in the right direction and to align with what a number of our neighboring municipalities have adopted. The other thing to do in this advertisement, we originally had discussed a 60-day extension, and because of the need to get it publicly discussed and to give an opportunity to the EAC and to our to our Economic Development Task Force, the opportunity to have these discussions with some of the businesses that would be affected. They needed some additional time, which is why we extended it the additional 30 days. So it's now a 90-day time period. And with that, I'll ask if there are any additional questions or comments. I didn't think that needed to be interrupted. Any questions or comments from members of the board? I see none, so Mr. President, I'll move for that advertisement of that ordinance for these changes based on the recommendations from Environmental Advisory Council.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Zieggenfeld. I just want to add some thanks to the EAC and all the partners who worked really hard on this additional version of the ordinance. Obviously, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, we passed the first version, which dealt with single-use plastic bags. This is an expansion, and it puts us on the forefront of dealing with single-use plastics. And there was a lot of work that went into this by many on the EAC, and it is truly appreciated. And it really is an honor to vote to approve this provision. So with those kudos, I'll ask if there are any other comments or questions from the board on Commissioner Zieggenfeld's motion. All right, seeing none, all those in favor of authorizing the advertisement with the adjustment to 90 days instead of 60 days for communication to those in the township. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Mr. President. Item D, adoption of a resolution approving the sewer facilities planning module, SFPM, for a property located at 1900 Ashbourne Road, Elkins Park, PA, for a proposed mixed-use development that will contain 99 dwelling units and 16,905 square feet of commercial office space. The proposed improvements will generate a proposed flow of 18,112.5 gallons per day, which is equivalent to 69 EDUs. An EDU is the daily use or expected use of a residential connection to our sewer system. So this is a technicality, but the point is that the sewer planning module has been done based on, projections that are part of the normal review of each proposed development and what their either strain is or their addition to the capacity to our existing sewer system. So I'll ask if there are any additional questions or comments on the sewer facilities planning module, Mr. President.
Any questions on this item? Commissioner Zieggenfeld, do you have a motion?
I do. The motion is to adopt the sewer planning facilities planning module for 1900 Ashbourne Road, also known as Ashland, for the capacity as per the recommended attachment.
Thank you, Commissioner Zieggenfeld. Any comments or questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioner Zieggenfeld.
Thank you, Mr. President. Before we submit the Public Works Committee minutes for review, just like to recommend an addition. I believe that Commissioner Rappaport had a number of questions or concerns that she expressed to the folks from Aqua that were presenting some of the proposed improvements with Aqua, with DEP, with the Philadelphia Water Department, and processing the amount of effluents that's coming not only from our existing developments and residences, but a number of the facilities that are there. So I think it's very important. Commissioner Rappaport's additional comments should be put into the minutes before we authorize them for approval. Any other questions or comments from members of the board? And thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. So, Mr. President, I move for the approval of the minutes. Thank you.
Any comments or questions on the motion? All right. So all in favor of approving the Public Works Committee meeting minutes for August 6th with the edits raised by Commissioner Rappaport and echoed by Commissioner Zieggenfeld, say aye.
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 And with that, I'll turn it over and just say, everybody, there's even more excitement coming up, so stick around.
After this commercial break, right? Thank you, Commissioner Zieggenfeld. On to item number 10. The Building and Zoning Committee meeting took place on August 6th as well. There is no business to bring before the board, so I will move for acceptance of the August 6th Building and Zoning Committee meeting minutes. Any comments or questions on that motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. On to item number 11 and Public Safety Committee, Commissioner Brockington.
Thank you, Commissioner, Mr. President. Also, like your meeting, Public Safety did meet. We met on August the 13th. And there's nothing to vote on tonight, so I would just call that we approved the regular minutes that were done on August 13th, 2025.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Public Affairs, Commissioner Rappaport, please.
Thanks, Mr. President. Okay, so we met on the 13th. The committee recommends the appointment of Lloyd Morgan of Wincote to be a voting member of the Board of Historical and Architectural Review. And on behalf of the committee, I so move.
Thank you, Commissioner Rappaport. Comments or questions on the motion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of the appointment of Lloyd Morgan, say aye.
Aye.
Thanks very much. And with that, I'll just move the acceptance of those meeting minutes for
Thank
public
you.
affairs.
Thank you again, Commissioner Rappaport. Any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. Moving on to Finance and Commissioner Norris.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on August 13th. There are no items that require our attention this evening, so I will just move acceptance of the meeting minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Norris. Any comments or questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of accepting the Finance Committee meeting minutes from August 13th, say aye. Aye. To flip my page. Item 14, the pension board met in its regular meeting on August 1st, 2025. There is no business to come before the board, so I will move for acceptance of the regular meeting minutes. Any comments or questions? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Moving right along. Item number 15, old business. There are a couple of agenda items, and then I'll open it up for any other old business. Item 15A, adoption of an ordinance amending Chapter 40, Pensions, Article 14, Board of Commissioners of the Cheltenham Township Code of Ordinances to reiterate and reaffirm the discontinuance of the plan and all future contributions to the plan, including pension benefits and health insurance benefits for commissioners post-service. There was some commentary about this earlier. I think last month. This series of ordinances were advertised and are intended to eliminate what had been approved by long ago Board of Commissioners to give commissioners post service pension benefits and health benefits. And this board has decided, and an earlier board has decided that is inappropriate, too expensive, and in fact, in some cases, unconscionable. So we are voting today to eliminate that. This is the ordinance to accomplish that. Are there any comments or questions before I ask for an ordinance number? Commissioner Zieggenfeld.
So, Mr. President, the one thing we had already submitted an ordinance of this nature. So this is just a reaffirmation, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments or questions?
And should we clarify why we have to reaffirm this? Because we don't usually have to reaffirm what's already in the ordinance.
So we looked at that following the last meeting, had some discussion with Labor Council. Labor Council is actually the attorneys that are handling this matter of litigation. These ordinances are simply for legal strategy purposes, and everyone is comfortable that as they are presented on the agenda, they satisfy what we need to do for purposes of the litigation.
Yeah, to be more, to sort of even further clarify, when we originally sought to eliminate these self imposed benefits, the township was sued by former commissioners, and that litigation is currently ongoing. It is costly litigation, and this reaffirmation is our position to make sure that there is no question about the resolve of this board in eliminating those payments and benefits.
You put it so nicely. I would. You put it very nicely. I won't be so nice. The former commissioners who are suing this township, many of them, I believe, still live in this township. They are our neighbors who are costing us tens of thousands of dollars, I imagine, to fight this. I think it's unconscionable. It infuriates me that a township that they know is in the type of financial strain that it is, they continue to sue us for years, is outrageous. Their names are very easy to find in the Montgomery County court records. So I would encourage people to, know who is involved in lawsuit against the township that you're paying for.
Thanks, Commissioner Cherico. All right, thank you. Any other comments? All right. Manager Elliott, please provide an ordinance number and call the roll.
Yes, it will be ordinance number 2497-25. Commissioner Arman,
Aye.
Commissioner Brockington,
Aye.
Commissioner Cherico,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
Commissioner Norris,
Aye.
Commissioner Rappaport,
Aye.
and Commissioner Ziegman-Feld.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Thank you. Moving on to item 15B, this is an aligned ordinance, adoption of an ordinance amending Cheltenham Township Code of Ordinances to repeal Chapter 40 pensions, Article 4 Board of Commissioners in its entirety. The commentary is the same, but I'll open it up if anyone else has any other comments. Go ahead, Commissioner.
One other
Cherico.
comment. I should make a point that I am in support of health benefits for everybody, right? Just the township should not be paying them for former commissioners. So I don't want you to think that I don't think everybody's entitled to health care.
Excellent clarification. Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right, Manager Elliott, please, an ordinance number and call the roll.
Sure. Ordinance number 2498-25. Commissioner Arman,
Aye.
Commissioner Brockington,
Aye.
Commissioner Cherico,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
Commissioner Norris,
Aye.
Commissioner Rappaport,
Aye.
and Commissioner Ziegman-Feld.
Aye.
Again, passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item 15C, along the same lines, adoption of an ordinance amending the Cheltenham Township Code of Ordinances to repeal ordinances purporting to grant retirement pension benefits and retirement health insurance benefits to township commissioners. I'll turn it over to Commissioner Cherico. No, just kidding. Any other, and I will so move. Any other comments or questions? All right, Manager Elliott, please, again, an ordinance number and the roll.
Sure. Ordinance number 2499-25. Commissioner Arman,
Aye.
Commissioner Brockington,
Aye.
Commissioner Cherico,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis,
Aye.
Commissioner Norris,
Aye.
Commissioner Rappaport,
Aye.
Commissioner Ziegman-Feld.
Aye.
And it's unanimous.
All right, and last but not least, adoption, item 15D, adoption of an ordinance amending Chapter 58, Salaries and Compensation, Article 2, Board of Commissioners, Section 58-2, Yearly Compensation of the Cheltenham Township Code of Ordinances to remove references to insurance and retirement benefits as part of the yearly compensation of members of the Board of Commissioners. And I will so move. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Manager Elliott again for the fourth time, an ordinance number and the roll.
Sure. This is ordinance 2500-25. Commissioner Arman,
Aye.
Commissioner Brockington.
Aye.
Commissioner Jericho,
Aye.
Commissioner Lewis.
Aye.
Commissioner Norris.
Aye.
Commissioner Rappaport.
Aye.
And Commissioner Sigmundson.
Aye.
Another unanimous.
Thank you, Manager Elliott. Thank you, Board. Before I open it up to my colleagues for old business, just one item that I have. We are just about to be entering into budget season, which is takes a lot of work from our staff, a lot of work from this board, and hopefully some feedback and input from our residents. So what I was hoping is, Manager Elliott, if you would announce the dates of our budget meetings. They are not during our regular Wednesday meetings, so they are listed on the calendar, but just as a reminder for everyone here in the hall and everyone on Zoom of what those budget meeting dates are, and they are open to the public.
Yes, so we have three budget workshops scheduled. The first one is Tuesday, September 30th, starts at 10 a.m. and goes till 6 p.m. Again, it will be live on Zoom, but you can come to our township building in our boardroom to participate in person. The second budget workshop is Monday, October 6th, from 6 to 9 p.m. Again, at the township building and also on Zoom. And then finally, Wednesday, October 29th, 4 to 8 p.m.
Thank you. Any other old business for tonight's legislative meeting? Commissioner Brockington.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I want to thank at this time our Director of Public Works, Bo, and your staff for doing an outstanding job for installing the speed cushions at Myers Elementary, Glenside, and I believe Wyncote. I want to thank you and your staff for doing that. That's something, that it's been near to my heart, getting those speed cushions along our school districts. And just to my Cheltenham Elementary folks, they're coming. We just have a project that's going on across the street from you, and we want to tie that project in. But Bo, thank you and your staff for what you guys did. We're getting those up. Thank you.
Yeah. Talk about promises made and promises delivered. Public Works said that they would get them done before school started, and they did. We also want to thank the school district for their participation in this project financially. It was a good team effort and a lot of great work done by our Public Works department. So thank you again. Any other comments for old business or items for old business, I should say? All right. Seeing none, I'm going to close old business. We'll move on to item number 16, new business. Item 16A, consider approval of a memorandum of understanding between Cheltenham Township and employee number 1021 to resolve a potential employee grievance. This involved payment of some monies that were claimed by an employee that the township agrees should be paid, and it is being memorialized in a memorandum of understanding. Are there any comments or questions on this item? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of approval of the memorandum of understanding, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item 16B, consider approval of a memorandum of understanding between Cheltenham Township and employees number 999 and 1047 to resolve a pending grievance. Again, this is a claim for certain payments that the township and the exclusive representative have agreed upon to resolve a grievance that is in process short of further litigation. Any comments or questions on this item? All right, seeing none, I'll move for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And item 16, item 16C is the appointment of Mike Buttram of Glenside, PA as a voting member on the Traffic Calming Committee. Mike has had volunteered a while ago. His nomination was pending some changes with the committee, and it's my honor to move for his appointment to that committee. Any comments or questions there? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Are there any other items for new business for tonight's legislative meeting from the board? All right. I will then close new business and we're going to skip right over 17. No, I'm just kidding. There's too many people in the room to do that. Item number 17 is Citizens Forum. We have a number of citizens here in the hall and also on Zoom. So now is the time to come up and be recognized. When you come up, please state, we'll start here in the hall and then we'll move to Zoom. When you come up, please state your name, the area of the township where you reside, and you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Judy Heath and I live on Oak Road in Glenside. So as a racially diverse family, my husband and I specifically chose to raise our 2 boys in Cheltenham due to the amazing diversity and acceptance in our community. It's been a great experience for all of us and we're happy we made that decision to live here. Yet now I'm greatly concerned with recent federally sanctioned attacks on immigrants that have been abusive and racist, that have occurred across the country and here in Montgomery County. It's left families torn apart and some imprisoned in some of the most deplorable conditions. Many of us are descendants of families that had the same stories as our current day immigrants, coming to the United States to escape persecution and worse, to seek refuge in our country that offers a chance to live safe and productive lives. It's my understanding that as commissioners, you believe in the safety and security of all of our residents and workers in our township. Yet there's hesitation to put a policy in writing to protect our immigrant community. I understand the concern that this could bring attention to our township, but that's really an unknown. What we do know is that ICE has already raided establishments in our county, unjustly taking immigrants into custody, breaking up families, trampling on individual civil rights, creating fear in our communities. And we need to question whether immigrants are just the first group being targeted. Who will be next? We should not have a community where our residents live in fear, panic, and anxiety that can cause irreparable psychological harm. During this time of uncertainty and vulnerability, codifying and welcoming policy will send a clear message to immigrants in our community that we are with them and that Cheltenham is a welcoming place. There are several great examples of policies that our township can adopt, including from the ACLU and our neighboring township of Ambler. It's my hope that Cheltenham will become a leader in Pennsylvania in issuing a formal resolution that protects our immigrant community. I want to continue to be part of a community that values human dignity and rights for all and continues to be a welcoming place. So thank you.
Ms. Heath, thank you very much for your comments. I thank you and your family for all their service, both here in the township and in neighboring townships. And very, very well stated. I'm not sure if there's going to be additional comments on this same topic, but what I will say is, the township does not condone what is happening out there by any means. We have had serious conversations, not only in public meetings, but internally on how to deal with these issues. There is apprehension about putting ourselves out there and inviting trouble. And that is the focus of many discussions that not only the township is having, but also residents are having. I sat in a kitchen just last week on this very issue with some neighbors, and I think maybe you were out of town, which is why maybe you weren't there. But it is a critically important issue. But it's also very complicated from a municipal point of view, how to deal with it. And we are attempting to navigate it. I'll turn it over to the chief for just a couple of brief comments on just what policy is. But But this is not the end all and be all of it. It is a continuing conversation, a continuing investigation on the part of the township. Chief, would you mind?
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is a hot topic for our community, as we all know. I received numerous calls. I've spoken to just every member of the board here about this topic and the impact it's having on our residents and our community. I just want everyone to know the role of local law enforcement in this. From your Cheltenham Police Department, our role is peacekeeper here. We're not federal agents. We don't enforce ICE. We don't enforce ICE regulations. We're not locking people up for immigration status. We will not lock anyone up for immigration status. You have to commit a crime. We're local law enforcement. We're not Montgomery County Prison. Our prison will not take anybody solely on their immigration status. It doesn't play into what we're looking for here from a local level. There was an incident in Montgomery County in West Norton that we spoke about at last Board of Commissioners meeting. It was a search warrant served on a supermarket there by the IRS that also brought in ICE and some other federal agencies there. I spoke to the command staff of that police department there, find out what happened for my own knowledge. Their role there was also peacekeeper in that role there to maintain public order in the event of that. Emotions are very high with this topic. We can all agree on that. That's the scary part of this. From my perspective, the rhetoric that's involved in some of this is pretty scary. People will go to some scary lengths to that, and that's what we're trying to avoid there. That's the role of the police here, to maintain public order and safety. So that's our role here. That's what you're going to get from the Cheltenham Police Department. That's what I'm preaching to my command staff, to my officers here, my street officers here as well. Common sense rules the day in these things. If they have a warrant, legal warrant, I can't stop ICE from coming in. They're a federal agency. I don't have that authority to do that. But we're not out there doing this. I'm not out looking for people. I'm not taking notes. I'm not doing any of that stuff. We're not doing anything like that. No covert activity, nothing like that. If someone gets arrested that is an immigrant, has an immigration issue, that may come up during the arrest process when they're fingerprinted. There may be a detainer lodged or something like that. We're not actively seeking that out. That may come out at the prison. And like I said, Montgomery County Prison they have limitations on how long to hold somebody that doesn't even have a detainer, even after their criminal charges are addressed. So there's a concerted effort at Montgomery County as well. They're trying to take a lead in this position. This is an uncertain time. It's a scary time. I understand that. Like I said, spoken to several residents about their concerns about this and what the hell's going on is what I'm getting. So to try to alleviate some of that concerns, I want to make sure you understand our role in this. And, I confer back and forth with the board on this. I understand the board's position solidly on this and what their expectations are for their police department here. And I convey that message to my command staff and my officers. So we're all on the same page when it comes to that. We may get called to an incident, but I want to make sure everybody understands our incident in that role is peacekeeper to maintain public order and peace.
Thank you, Chief. Okay. Ma'am, please identify your name, where you live, and not the area where you live, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay, my name is Amy Freed. I live in Roland Park. I'm a member of CIR, the Cheltenham Immigration Response, a group founded by Cheltenham residents and whose members are all Cheltenham residents. And I want to echo everything that Judy said. As residents of Cheltenham Township, we're greatly concerned with the federally sanctioned attacks on immigrants that have occurred across the country and closer to home. Over 14% of Cheltenham's township population is foreign-born. And these families, our neighbors, our friends, our colleagues, they have a right to live in peace and safety with the guarantee of due process as promised to all people in the Constitution. Now, while I do appreciate, and my group does appreciate, that Cheltenham has not signed a 287G agreement or a memorandum of understanding with ICE, we know you fully, you can't fully prevent ICE activity in the area. We ask that commissioners pass a written welcoming policy similar to those drafted by the ACLU and local communities such as Ambler, such as East Norriton. Courts have found that federal statutes does not preempt localities from adopting pro-immigrant policies. And local agencies are not required to comply with requests from ICE to detain residents. What's more, the locality may be held liable for their role in causing an unlawful detention, resulting in costly litigation costs. A written policy also strengthens public safety as a whole by building trust between law enforcement and immigrant communities. When residents feel through a lack of a clear written and translated policy into the immigrant community languages, that their immigration status may put them at risk for arrest, detention, and/or deportation, they are less likely to cooperate with police, report crimes, or seek help when needed. We're all aware of the ongoing threats from the administration to deny federal funding to states and localities that adopt such welcoming policies. These are clearly intended to strong arm local governments into acquiescence or silence. What's more, capitulating to intimidation will not end, but rather escalate it, because as history and the Trump administration has shown us, targeting one group, in this case the illegals, is the gateway to a broad targeting of other groups. We hope that you, our local leaders, will stand for what is right and pass a written commitment to the safety of immigrant communities in our township. I'm almost done. As township residents, we are behind you on this. We will support the additional burdens it takes to keep our neighbors and friends safe. Again, asking for a written policy similar to those drafted by the ACLU and by our neighboring townships. Please let us know how we can assist you in making this happen.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to let me speak tonight, and thank you for your service as commissioners of the Cheltenham Township. My name is Seth Kaufman. I'm a resident of the Cheltenham Township. I currently live in Briar Estates, and I also work in the community and serve the community as a physical therapist. So I'm taking the time tonight to talk about the Cheltenham Pickleball Club. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude and my love for the Cheltenham Pickleball Club. I've been a member of the Cheltenham Pickleball Club for about 2 years now, and I would like to say that it has actually changed my life in many ways, all positive, of course. But it's just an activity that I discovered as a younger healthcare professional that is across the lifespan. Pretty much every age is playing it right now. Predominantly older adults over the age of 65. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today is the court surface at Wall Park, which we play on. First of all, we love the court surface there. We've had so much fun playing there. It's a self-led community. It's a self-led club. It more recently has been acquired and run by the Cheltenham Township. And we love this club. We have made strong friendships because of it. And we wanted to address some concerns about the court surface we're playing on. So first of all, as a physical therapist, I'm also what's called a vestibular specialist. And part of my specialty is assessing for fall risk and also being aware of fall risk in the community. So when I play at Cheltenham Pickleball Club, I very well noticed that there is unleveled playing surface. Essentially, when you are turning to run towards the Tookenny Creek, there is about a 7-foot decline that you're running downhill on, and most people wear improper footwear. And the footwear they're wearing, typically running shoes, puts their center of gravity, is what it's called, in the front of their feet. And as they turn and run towards the creek, they can put themselves at risk for falls. I've already heard of what's called a Colles fracture, which is when you put your arm out, you reach because you're trying to break your fall and you break your wrists. It's very common in most sports, but because of this unlevel playing surface, it's just a concern. My friend Paula Cohen just handed you guys a handout, and it's just some examples of the playing surface we play on. So this is my other concern. There's cracks in the playing surface. Something that I notice a lot of times with pickleball is that, and it's no knock to everyone that plays, it's an all-inclusive sport, but people like to pick up the sport without any conditioning. So a lot of times they're taking up a sport that they feel their body is ready for, but they might have weaknesses that they're unaware of. So at times, if you're running for a shot, for example, and you're not looking for the crack, and of course you're not going to look because you're reacting. Sometimes your foot can get caught if you don't have the proper strength. And we've noticed multiple falls of people getting their foot caught in the cracks. So as someone who plays in the club, as someone who's an expert on fall risk, I very much care about this club. I love this club. And as someone who's in probably one of the youngest members in the club, I really am advocating for myself, for many generations of pickleball to come. And thank you so much for Bill Salvatore as well, because he's also including an organization called Heyday Pickleball, which is a for-profit league that runs adult leagues, and that's probably all him. He's now bringing other community members outside of Cheltenham to the playing surface. So it would be great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead, ma'am.
My name is Paula Cohen, and I live at Coventry House in Elkins Park. I'm sure you've heard the saying, pickleball is life. Well, for me and some of my friends, it is. We at Cheltenham Pickleball enjoy playing at the courts. I have a lot of friendships there. I'm a retired dental hygienist as of 2020 with COVID around, so I needed an activity to keep me safe and sane, and pickleball has become my sanity and part of my physical fitness routine. We have about 150 members at CPB, so this activity has brought me new friends to play with and also to socialize with. And the group is intergenerational. We've got seniors as well as Salis students and all other ages in between. When we play, our courts are so unsafe with so many cracks, as you can see, and they're uneven and they need to be remilled. After it rains, the courts stay wet for hours as puddles are all over and don't drain. There's mold from the trees and it makes the courts very slippery. Since they're uneven and slippery, I've seen firsthand players fall because of this. Also, we have a wheelchair member who finds the ruts and cracks make it harder for him to manipulate his chair and play. This group of wall is intergenerational. Seniors who've lived in the township for many years now get out and exercise and have many friendships. I would be totally bored without pickleball. It's a great community and it brings revenue to our township. It brings people from outside the township too, to play and perhaps shop in the township. Pickleball ball is an asset for the community. It brings revenue to the township, and our courts need to be refurbished and maintained so we can continue playing and do it safely. We at CPB are counting on you to come through and fund our courts so that all the pickleball at Cheltenham can play safely. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. What I will say is that, as I mentioned earlier, we have the budget process coming up. This, along with many priorities within the township, is certainly be discussed, and we're taking all the feedback under advisement, and certainly Parks and Rec with respect to pickleball and many other items are going to be considered seriously through that process. So thank you very much. For everyone else who's coming up, if your comments have already sort of been covered, please limit anything that you're going to say to new items, so we're not just being repetitive. But with that, sir, please, the floor is yours for 3 minutes.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioners. I'm Tom Peterson. I'm a long-term resident living in Roland Park. I'm going to read a statement from Jessica, who's also a township resident. Good evening. My name is Jessica Tax, and I'm a Glenside resident. I have lived in Cheltenham Township for over 15 years. In that time, I have had the joy of raising my son, Gabriel, and I have also fostered all 8 members of a family that is near and dear to my heart. They are Latino, and 3 remain in Cheltenham. Like many other citizens, the boys who live here love to shop at Mexican stores that can be found in Montgomery County, especially in Norristown. So it was with great horror that I heard about what happened at the Super Gigante grocery store in Norristown. On July 16th, ICE showed up in the parking lot, dressed in artillery and tactical gear and accompanied by the East Norriton police. They locked the doors of the store for hours. Under the guise of looking for one person, they harassed and trapped dozens of people for hours. They left with 14 people who were expedited out of the area so fast it is shocking. Red cards, no help. Folks who didn't have proof of citizenship were removed for detention. Were some of them citizens? Could be. It is well established that ICE has no issue detaining U.S. citizens, some for weeks, for simply being brown and speaking another language in public. What is happening inside of these detention centers is shocking. People have been reported drinking water out of toilet bowls, been forced to eat food out of bowls on the floor with their hands tied behind their back, and always reports of violence. No access to phones, extreme difficulty communicating with loved ones or lawyers. And every day the pressure is mounting on ICE. Find more people, get up your numbers, kidnap first and ask questions later. I went to a vigil that Wednesday and watched as family wept and prayed for the return of their loved ones. I can't help but wonder, what are we doing to protect the immigrants in our own community? How will the community know if ICE is trying to collaborate with the township or the Cheltenham Police Department? Will the police allow them to lock people into a building for hours while they threaten them? Will they stop them from removing people without due process? Will we be warned by the township if any raids are taking place so we can stop them? Once our people are in their custody, they can be lost to us. Will it be H Mart next time the doors get locked? Will any of your family members be in there? If we don't have a strong policy in place, we are not ready for what is coming. It is time for Cheltenham to adopt a clear policy modeled after excellent examples from groups like the ACLU that will ensure our police protect our residents in every way, and that our community deters ICE from gathering here or getting access to information from township resources. These are not normal times. These are deeply dangerous times for everyone, especially our immigrant neighbors. Please take a strong stand against kidnapping and terror, and please help my boys be safe when they're walking around this township. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Jo Gladding. I live over on Spring Avenue in Cheltenham. And I won't duplicate what's been said. But with the budget season coming upon us, I'd ask you to think carefully about the way you set those priorities, because the Wall Park issue is a serious issue. And the programming changes that have been instituted in the past 6 months or so have been extraordinary. And they've brought huge energy and excitement and organization to what had been a kind of motley group of people. And it's growing, and it is the largest growing sport, fastest growing sport in America. But programming changes only take us so far. And, you know, the last time I attended a township meeting, it was to discuss this very vast, ambitious, imaginative facilities plan that apparently didn't have funding except for some discrete parts of it. And Commissioner Chirico noted that the township has financial stress. And so it seems that rather than entertaining big plans that maybe can't be afforded, the priority should be placed on taking care of what we've got. And Wall has been long neglected. It's in terrible condition. The court's there, the basketball court too, the parking lot. It's kind of embarrassing if that's the crown jewel of our township park system. And it's a place where community gathers and it gets used by thousands and thousands of people. If I kept my sidewalk in the condition that the Wall Park tennis courts are in, you folks would slap a citation on me so fast. So I'm asking you to show Wall Park some love and to please make it a priority as you enter this budget planning season, because it's important. It's what makes a community, having places to gather and to join together and to become friends. And so I'd ask you to be smart about the budgeting and take care of what we've got.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Stokes, and I am a Glenside homeowner, and I have lived in Cheltenham Township for the past 10 years. And I can actually bring together our two issues of the night to say that if we want to have a wonderful surface for pickleball, we also want to have a safe space for folks to gather so that they feel welcomed and be able to be in our community without threat of harassment or terrorism. So that said, I am here actually to make a quick statement and then to also ask a question that I hope our commissioners could address perhaps at our next meeting or tonight. But the first piece is to say, as many of our residents have said tonight, we support due process as granted under our law, which is our law that is passed by Congress and not by policy made by executive order. We also support people and humans to be treated with dignity and humanity and to not endorse the practice of profiling people who are Black, brown, or who speak with accents as a way of denoting their difference and the beauty of their identities. I also, again, would like to ask this is the question part. So the question is, on our website, we do not have a dedicated chief diversity officer in the township of Cheltenham, but we do have someone by the name of Officer Donna L. Richmond, who serves as the Chief Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer from Montgomery County. And I would ask our commissioners to consult with this person in order to, and I'll say this as somebody who was a Chief Diversity Officer at 2 universities in our area, Holy Family and St. Joseph's University, that this is expertise that many of us have and have been working with universities as well as some of our nonprofits in the area to say, how can we support the tenets of these terms that shall not be named in today's climate, but things that espouse our values. So please consult the experts, not just the attorneys, but the people who also work in this space to help to craft that possible policy that we have been asking for tonight. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Mary Jo Soldacki. I'm a longtime resident, 20 years of the Elkins Park area. I am a retired Philadelphia school teacher. When Trump was first elected, and I will be brief, okay, but I won't be silent because we're very passionate about this. When Trump was first elected in 2016, my students at Feltonville Intermediate came to school the next day frightened and anxious, and one even cried. They had all heard the rhetoric during the campaign of what would happen to their families, their deportation, and their security felt threatened. I closed the door to my classroom and let the children express their concerns. I tried to reassure them that during times of a presidential election, there's always going to be change, but don't worry so much. After all, it's not as if an ICE agent is going to grab you off the street. And yet here we are in 2025. ICE is literally grabbing people off the street. There is no due process for them. Children have been deported along with parents, or perhaps worse, left behind when parents are deported. Immigrants are persecuted, targeted while they work. And their work, we depend on in our society. We need immigrants. Most of us are here because of immigration. They deserve to feel safe, welcomed as possible. We need a welcoming policy that helps validate our rights and existence as human beings in this democracy. A comprehensive policy that holds all accountable for peace, safety, and preserving a democracy of our community. Please act now in tandem with this constituency and commit to a welcoming policy in Montgomery County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, welcome the next person to this.
Hi, I'm
So-
Kim Decker, and I love the levity of the pickleball. And that really, I think that helps us all just, you know, I'm an occupational therapist. I do love pickleball, but, and it's wonderful to see old friends here. I've lived in the township for over 20 years and you see people here that it's really a joy. And I thank you all for your service. And I know that your hearts are in the right place. I truly do. And I will try to cut my speech, but I still think it's worth hearing. Good evening, council members and fellow residents. I stand before you tonight to urge the township to adopt policies that limit ICE jurisdiction within our community boundaries, following the ACLU guidelines that numerous municipalities have successfully implemented. It isn't about politics. It's about our fundamental values as Americans and human beings. Our historical responsibility teaches us that ordinary communities like this one, that are faced with extraordinary moral challenges, have the power to choose courage over compliance. In the 1930s, in Germany, some towns and cities quietly refused to cooperate with increasing oppressive federal directives. They understood that legal authority and moral authority are not always the same thing. Today, we face our own test. We will be the community that stands by while families are, we will not be the community that stands by while families are torn apart in our grocery schools, our schools, and our places of worship. We will be the community that says, not here, not on our watch. Right. Thank you. Every day we delay, we send a message to our immigrant families in this township that you're on your own. Children walk to school wondering if their parents will be there when they return. Workers hesitate to report crimes or workplace violations. Families avoid seeking medical care. This climate of fear doesn't make us safer. It makes us all more vulnerable. The question isn't whether federal immigration law exists. Of course it does. The question is whether our township will be complicit in enforcement tactics that separate families and terrorize our neighbors. Some will say we're just following orders, but history has shown us where that leads. Others will say it's not our responsibility, but protecting the vulnerable has always been the responsibility of decent people in positions of power. Council members, this is our moment of courage. You have the opportunity to place our township on the right side of history, to say that in our community, we treat all residents with dignity. We don't ask children to choose between safety and family. We believe strength comes from standing up for the powerless, not from cowering before federal overreach. The ACLU has provided clear, legal, sound frameworks that dozens of communities have adopted successfully. The path forward exists, and we only need the courage to take it. I urge you to direct staff. I urge you to direct staff to work with the ACLU to draft sanctuary policies for our township, hold public hearings, engage our community, but don't delay while families live in fear.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to wrap up. You're over your 3 minutes.
will.
Yeah, thank you.
The moral arc of the universe bends toward justice, but only when communities like ours have the courage to bend it.
Thank you. So before we get to the next speaker, I think we get the message on both of the 2 issues before us. So if you have something new to add, please feel free. And I'm not looking to limit anyone's speech, but I think we understand where the 2 groups are coming from, whether it's the pickleball group or the civil rights groups. So please feel free. But again, if you have something new to add, please do so.
My name is Chris Deephouse. I live here in Elkins Park. I'm proud to be here for over 10 years. And I'm here to talk about food. I work every week at Jenkintown Food Cupboard, serving hundreds of residents of Cheltenham, along with people in our neighboring townships. And I'm really concerned that the policies of ending immigration and deporting immigrants is doing to farm policy in this country. There are places across this country where farm workers are not coming to work because they are afraid they will be deported by ICE, even if they're legally in this country. This is driving up farm prices and driving up prices for the food that we have to buy or receive for our food pantry. And I hope you to consider this as an additional impetus to follow what's right for our township. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Kaylee Taylor, and I am a proud resident of Ward 7 of Cheltenham. That's hard when you're tall. Sorry, Kaylee Taylor, proud resident of Ward 7, proud resident of Cheltenham, proud resident of Pennsylvania. I am actually a transplant, but when I moved here, I loved hearing the stories of this area taking a stand, of saying, screw you to the world. We're going to let everyone come in. We're going to be the first in our inventions. We're going to be the first in welcoming people. We're going to be the ones that lead the charge against segregation in schools. We have always been a community that is very proud to stand up and fight. That's what we do. And so I understand the fear, but I want you to know that as residents, we want you to fight. We will back you in this. Immigrants make our communities great. And I want Cheltenham to continue being the greatest community ever. So please, please fight with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Steph. My pronouns are they and them, and I live on Oak Lane Road over in Elkins Park. I first want to start by thanking all of you for all the behind the scenes work you do to keep our community functioning. This is my first meeting, so thank you for everything you do for all the times I haven't been here. The reason I'm here today, I am a member of a group called East Cheltenham Cares. We came together. What up? So we're a group of about 30 or so neighbors that came together after a few of our neighborhood kids were heard expressing some concerns about the immigration policies just after Trump was elected. Our group's been meeting since about November, and I am just echoing that concern and that desire to have a written welcome policy in place. So as said before, we have something we can show our kids to show that we are on paper protecting the immigrants in our community and, you know, folks of color, folks speaking different languages and with different accents. And I know it was said earlier that putting that on paper could invite trouble. Trouble is already here. Thank you.
Well.
Hi.
Go ahead, ma'am.
My name is Pam Albright. I live on Brookfield Road in Dan Norris's area. And I'm also a member of East Cheltenham Cares, which as Steph pointed out, we organized after the election. And our goal is to build a real community that we care about each other and we look out for each other, and that we are also resisting things that will be harmful to our community. And one of those things, of course, is what ICE is doing throughout the country and the nation. Echoing what Steph said, you know, our children in our neighborhoods are already feeling stressed by the fear that their families could be deported. And, you know, I think that time to kind of like keep your head down and just say, we're going to do the right thing, just have to trust us. I mean, we're past that. I mean, I think that ICE is coming and, you know, whether we, you know, try to do it undercover, I think that's not going to be good enough. We need to be out there. I moved into Cheltenham 30 years ago because I loved the diversity and the progressiveness of the township and creativity, all the things that's on that bumper sticker we have. I still have in my refrigerator. I mean, we wanted a good place for our two children to grow up, and this has been a really great place for them to grow up. Not perfect, but it's still, you know, it's still a work in progress, like any place would be, but it's been a wonderful place to grow up, bring our kids up, and I want to stay here. I'm planning to stay here forever, I hope. It's such a wonderful group, but I really worry now about the neighbors who are vulnerable, and as everyone else has pointed out, and I think they need to know that we're all behind them and that we're going to stand up. And Cheltenham is probably the most progressive, you know, community in the township, or excuse me, in the county. And, you know, we need to get up there and be examples to all the other 60-some municipalities. So, you know, the more people, the more townships and municipalities that stand up and do these policies, this better position we're all going to be in. So I wanted to bring that out. And I just wanted to say something that no one else has said yet, which is we're in the midst of a fascist takeover. I mean, there's no getting around it. You know, that word nobody wants to say, but the fact of the matter is that that's what's happening. And we got to stand up and fight that. And one way we can do that is to not cooperate in any way we can with federal agents who are going to take away people without due process and mask them without any IDs, pushing people down, hurting people and dragging them off. So let's be strong.
Thank you, ma'am. But before you start, just another advisement. We sort of understand the mission and the message. So please feel free. But if instead of echoing and repeating, I think bring new stuff to the table. That would be fine. Thank you.
Yep. Mine is a nonverbal one. I believe there are many people here today. You've already seen some. Ed Jones' recent recently moved from Lehigh to Elkins Park. Happy
Welcome.
to be here. Was happy to see this on the homepage. And the only thing I would like to do is I know that there was sort of a spontaneous clapping at one point when the first person spoke. I would like to give the opportunity for anybody in the audience, either who came because of this issue or has been persuaded that it makes sense for Cheltenham to develop a policy that welcomes immigrants. If everyone could stand up and believe that.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, ma'am. Please state your name and the area of the township where you live.
I'm Sister Maria Metzger. I'm a sister of St. Joseph, and I live on Hilldale Road in Cheltenham.
Welcome.
I also work with our Newcomers Housing Alliance, which is in Philadelphia. So I work with immigrants. I just want, and this is a very different thing. I was very happy to hear about where the police stand in Cheltenham Township. I do think that a written policy would also be very helpful, and it would also ensure the police the right to be doing what they're doing because they know the township is behind them. So I think that's just another reason to have them.
Thank you. And just to that point, that I think I'm not going to speak for the chief, but we are very supportive of the chief and the entire department and the hard work they do, not only in with respect to this particular issue, but across the board. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Terry Harris. I live on Brookside Road in Elkins Park, and I've been living in Elkins Park since I was 2 years old.
Welcome tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to echo the sister. It's very important that we recognize our police are working very hard to build relationships with the community, and we need to back them in that. So they, I believe, really would appreciate knowing that the commissioners have their back explicitly and are not, so that the community at large can trust them. Because if it's not explicit, the community has every reason, I'm sad to say, not to trust. We have to help that trust to grow. And I just want to say, you have an opportunity. This board has an opportunity to do something heroic in a little neighborhood way. You could hold up your heads when your grandchildren ask you, what did you do then? That's what I'm saying.
Thank you. Go ahead,
Hi,
sir.
my name is Randy Libros. I live in Melrose Park, although I actually grew up in Wyncote. And I will be very brief. I do hear the concerns about, oh, we don't want to put a target on our back. But there's an interesting thing that happened. There was originally, Trump issued this list of all these sanctuary areas, and Montgomery County was on that list. After that list was released, Montgomery County changed some of their policies. For example, not holding prisoners for an extra 4 hours for ICE to come pick them up and some other things. And lo and behold, when the next list came out, Montgomery County was not on the list. So I think that just the idea of standing up and taking a public position and a written policy does not necessarily mean that that we're going to have a target on our back. I do think that not standing up leaves us vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Mears.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, for your public service, I know we laugh about the minutia, but I am really glad you guys do it and I don't. So thank you. I was here last month. And last month I told you it was that day, right, that the Super Gigante had happened. And that day I told you that over 20 people had been abducted from Montgomery County. And this month I'm here to tell you that over 55 people have been abducted from Montgomery County. Since last month, since the Super Gigante, it has been quiet in Norristown in terms of ICE activity. You've heard about it from people here. You may have seen the videos and the photos of men with huge guns and tactical gear terrorizing the community. You may have also heard some of the outrage from the community, not just at ICE, but at West Norton Police for stopping protesters from doing something about it. That it's largely because of those photos and because of that video that West Norton, if you see the Times Herald that came out yesterday, West Norton has passed a welcoming policy as a result. You may have also, I'm so sorry, hold on. You may have also remember that I said at the time that there were things we didn't know, right? We didn't know really important information because the police stopped us from going inside the supermarket. But what I also didn't know was that one of those police officers was a school resource officer, which means that police officer will be going into Norristown High School, which has a large Latino population. And I think we should pause for a moment and understand that even though West Norton has passed a welcoming policy, damage has already been done. And what must those children be thinking about the presence of that police officer in their school, who stood by and stopped protesters from helping in order to allow ICE to abduct 14 people? We also want to think about last month, I told you about a man who was 85 years old who fled Pinochet, that he had achieved getting, being allowed to be here. He had been here for decades, and that he had died in custody and there was a vigil for him. It turns out that he was found in Guatemala in a hospital. It turns out that ICE lied to his family when they said that he died in custody. Apparently he hadn't. And I want to think about his family and what they must be thinking and how it would feel that the good news is that your family member is deported. Last month, I had two questions. What is our policy for local law enforcement and how they work for ICE? And how are we being proactive as a township in order to protect our neighbors? I'm asking those same two questions again tonight. What is our policy and how are we helping? I will be here next month. And hopefully we still only have 55 people detained. And hopefully this issue is on your agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yep. Thank you all for everybody's comments here in the hall. We're going to now close Citizens Forum here in the hall and we'll move to Zoom. If you are on Zoom and would like to be recognized, please raise your hand. I see one hand raised currently. Is it Ms. Holtzman?
Yes, that's right. So I also want to speak about immigration. And I'm Rosalind Holtzman. I have lived in Elkins Park for over 35 years. And I would like to see a written policy enacted. What I'd like to speak about most is the topic of risk. I understand that there's concern about drawing attention by taking a public stance, but it's important to remember that risk is twofold: the risk of taking action and the risk of not taking action. These are not normal times, and sadly, silence will not protect us. ICE has a $75 billion allocation now to build concentration camps and hire 10,000 agents. This administration has no intention of stopping with illegals. Sadly, also, keeping our head down will not spare us. We instead must meet this moment while we still can. The risk only increases from here. Is there a red line? Do we have a red line? What is that red line? Let me quote the well-known phrase from Pastor Martin Niemöller. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. So let me offer the challenge that I give to myself every single day, as I have for the last 10 years. In these times, I ask myself, what is my responsibility? What am I willing to risk? And I tell myself, let me be brave. Let us be brave. Let us lead and give other townships the moral courage to take a stand. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Holtzman. That's applause you're hearing in the background, by the way. And I like your background.
There are immigrants in my family. I'm married to an immigrant. This is an incredibly important issue to me.
Thank you. All right, Mr. George.
Hello, commissioners and members of the public. A little bit of a different subject, but germane to what was mentioned earlier regarding the upcoming budget process and preparation for the budget before the end of the year for 2026. Given the nature of the challenges facing the township, and I'm talking about the township as a whole, not just the municipality that is called the township, but the entire township in its real sense. It seems to me that it's incumbent upon the two taxing authorities that take money or revenues from the same citizens who live within the boundaries to coordinate their planning and spending on capital, especially capital projects, where there is a dovetailing of interests and coalescing of interests in the use of those facilities. And I have asked in the past what concrete steps are being taken or are being considered to be taken, both on the part of the township and the school district, to promote development of plans where that makes sense to do it, such that capital funds go to things that benefit the broadest number of people. And I'm raising this issue now because I know the budget process is starting or has started. And I feel very strongly that unless we have coordination across all of the interest groups where capital projects are looking for funding, that unless we have that coordination, we're not prepared to allocate capital funds or go out seeking bond funding for anything related to capital projects until that coordination is in place or at least begun. or recognized as an essential aspect of how we run our affairs. So I would urge this township, and I will do the same with the school department, that they coordinate their activities when it comes to capital spending, especially planning, and especially when we have the same consulting group used to help facilitate both of those things for each taxing authority. It seems to me to make no sense whatsoever that we're not talking to each other or coordinating plans when it makes sense. And
Thank
I
you, Mr.
hope that you
George.
will do something about that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. That advice is certainly not the first time we've heard it, either from you or others, and certainly to suggest that there is no coordination or discussion is not accurate. But we continue to work with all partners, both the school district, the county, state, and federal, in order to ensure that we are spending tax dollars in the most efficient and economical way. So, but thank you for your comments. Next hand raised is Jamie. Please state your full name and where you live in the township.
Hi, this is Jamie Woodyard and I live in Roland Park.
Welcome. Go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thanks. So just hoping to get more information at some point, maybe through the website, about the direction of the facilities plan. I know there was an agreement last year and an outline of what was going to be pursued, but I think it seems since then there's been redirection and changes, but it's not clear what that is. So like I know in that newsletter, there was mention of a grant for Roland Park to sort of like renovate it, but I didn't think that that was part of the facilities plan, that it wasn't to renovate it. It was sort of to demolish it and rebuild something smaller, like a satellite office. There was never clarity about some of the actions on some of the buildings either. Like I think the art center, that was still something that was open. So there was just some like open questions there. So I don't know if here is where that update will happen or through the website. And also I've emailed the facilities email a few times and that doesn't seem to be in like active anymore. And I don't know if that's the case, but if there's some way that we can be given an update on sort of where the plan is today, specifically to all the different elements of it, that would be helpful. Thank you.
So Jamie, thank you. I didn't get your last name, so I apologize for calling you Jamie.
Oh,
But
it's okay.
the answer is that yes, we created a vision last year, and we are implementing it in small ways that we can afford. And obviously that has started with Lamont. We have obtained grants for Roland. Although plans are not finalized in any way with Roland, we continue to seek additional monies and that the ability to obtain monies for that will inform what those plans ultimately are. So it's not that we have these facilities plans that we haven't disclosed. It's that we have a vision in place. We continue to seek funding in order to accomplish that vision. We pivot when new opportunities arise. We mentioned that we had an opportunity that arose that ended up not panning out. So when we announced that it was something that we were exploring, and then subsequently, when it wasn't panning out, we decided that we couldn't pursue it, and we announced that as well. So the fact is, we are still working off our original plan, although we are open to other opportunities that arise and will continue to be. And as any meaningful developments occur in terms of our thinking or actually engaging on a particular property or facility, we'll continue to advertise that, announce it, and engage the community on those items. Any of my colleagues want to add to anything there? Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your comments. All right. I am not seeing any more hands raised on Zoom. Going once, twice. All right, citizens forum is now closed. And I will move for adjournment at 9:03 PM. I want to thank everybody for their participation tonight and all their meaningful comments. And I want to thank my colleagues for all their hard work. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.